Yo, what's up everyone? Yo, what's up here back with another video, and today I'm going to break down my Black Ops 6 EWC bracket. I'm going to be going over group stages, and then on who I believe is going to advance out of that and match up with each other in the actual bracket. It's single elimination, so it's a little tricky, and determining who's going to come out of group stages is going to be a little bit harder, so bear with me, but let's get into the bracket. Alright, moving into group 2, we got Optic. G2 is Minnesota Rocker, Cloud9, everyone knows, and then 5 Fears is a Challengers team, so that's going to be our group A. Group B is Vancouver, 100 Thieves, Gentlemates, and Team Orchid, which is another Challengers team. Our CDL teams for Group C are going to be Boston Breach, Movistar Co. is Toronto Ultra, then we got the Vegas Falcons, obviously, and Team War. That's the Challengers team. And in Group D, we got Heretics, FaZe, and they actually have 2 Challengers team because of the whole Carolina Royal Raven situation. So Omit Brooklyn and Project 7 are the 2 Challengers team in Group D. So Group D, FaZe and Heretics probably should come out. But that's spoiling it. We'll jump to Group A. Alright, so moving on to Group A. They don't have it filled out on the schedule like yet for the website of EWC, but we're going to have to kind of piece together. So first match is going to be Optic. The way it's going to work is like Optic will play 5 Fears, and then Minnesota Rocker will play Cloud9. The winner of those 2 will play here. And then the winner of that advances. The loser of these first 2 will move down, play each other, play the loser of up here, the winner's match, and then those 2 will play, and whoever wins out of that will qualify. So basically, it's like the groups you have double elimination, and then once you make it to the final bracket, you have single elimination. So it's really not, it really is still a double elimination tournament. Kinda. I guess if you win both matches and you're this team, you could lose first round and only have lost 1 match and still get knocked out, which is kind of unfortunate. I think that's what happened to like Optic last year and a couple other teams where it's like they got through groups without losing a match and then they played the actual bracket and they lost and got 4th. It's like, all right, that's cool, I guess. Anyways, Optic and in my opinion, I think Minnesota are going to be the teams that move on through Group A. I just believe they're the better teams. I know Cloud9 didn't make champs. Neither of them actually made, wait, no, Cloud9 would have made champs. One of them would have had to make champs. Maybe it was Cloud9, but I don't think they did. I don't know. I know it was supposed to be Carolina was supposed to be in theirs, but I don't know who got put in instead of it. Because according to the rules, it should be 1st, 8th, and 9th. So it should have been, yeah, Carolina and Minnesota, because Minnesota's 9th. So either way, one of them, they're either, honestly, it's a coin flip between those 2. I don't think the Challengers team is going to do it. Let's be honest. I know it's tough to say, but they're a Challengers team. They're playing professionals. They haven't had the practice that these guys have had all year, type of thing. So that's who I think is going to move out of Group A. Out of Group B, we'll just go back and double check. It actually is a better one, but let's be honest. This seems like a pretty easy thing again. It's probably going to be Vancouver and 100 Thieves. G2 could put up a fight, or Gentlemate, sorry, could put up a fight. But I just don't see it happening, to be honest. It's going to be like a little, like, I don't even know who's on their team right now. Feels like they haven't played in forever. I know they still have Kismet. I think Lynn stepped down. And then they finished their team with Johnny and Fellow, no? And then I don't even know if they have those guys anymore, but they couldn't drop them. But that team's all kind of weird. I don't know really what's going on with it. I think Vancouver and Thieves are just way better. I know Thieves underperformed at champs, and Vancouver got 2nd, so I don't see Vancouver losing, and Thieves should be on some sort of like redemption run of like, holy shit, we choked champs, we got 12th, or 8th, let's not have that happen here. So they're at least gonna get out of groups, you would hope. Moving on to Group C, this one's kind of a toss-up because Boston played good at champs for sure. I think they got 3rd or 4th. I think it was 3rd. Toronto did not play great at champs, but Team War is a Challengers team, and Falcons, like, I guess you could say Falcons upgraded by adding Tej, but then they moved And they dropped Priesta. So it's Tej and Pred, Priesta, and Exnid. But they moved Exnid to the AR. So that's a little weird of a role change that they're going to have to do like last month. He's going to have to be on a different role. I don't know if he's comfortable doing it. He's probably more of a flex player anyways. A lot of people pull out subs on certain maps, and everyone's pulling out ARs too. So this game's kind of a game where like you got to be able to use both weapons, but you know, it is what it is. I think Toronto is the only one I would guarantee out of this one. But this one is the most mixy, where it's like something could happen, and you could see like, I don't know much about this team or team, but you could see maybe them coming out of it, Falcons coming out of it. Like, it could be a mix of any of these teams. I'm going to go with Boston and Toronto, though, getting out of it. I think that's just the most safe bet. Both made champs. Both did okay at champs. Boston especially overperformed at champs. Now, was that a one-off thing, and now they're going to be back to normal Boston? Who knows? But for my pick, I'm going to pick Boston and Toronto. I know I picked basically the front two teams of every single one. And I'm going to do the same thing. Miami looked great at champs. Let's be honest. They looked phenomenal at champs. The only thing that scares me is, like, because of the way the bracket works, Miami FaZe both win, right? And then they go and play down, and they lose in the bottom one, right? That's the only thing that scares me. That's why this tournament's a little funky, is like, I think Miami's a really good team. They could lose to FaZe. They could beat FaZe and just advance easy, but I think those two teams will be the top of the bracket. You know, let's go back. I think they'll be here playing each other for this spot. Whoever drops down, there's a chance they might sell. You know, it's a little bit of a tricky one, and I think, but I still do see them beating both these teams. I don't know anything about Project 7. I know Omit is basically a CDL team. Like, they have I think Vivid's on that team. They got a couple other guys. I think they have Proloot and like Mac. So like, they have guys that were in the league this year. I know Proloot wasn't, but I know Mac and Vivid were both in the league this year. So they do technically have a CDL team, kind of. That's why they've been dominating, you know, challengers. I could see them maybe upsetting 50 or Heretics, but FaZe, same thing as 100 Thieves. They kind of underperformed the champs. I see them kind of trying to come out with a redemption. But yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. Now, this is where it gets tricky. So if we go to the rule set, right? I don't know if you guys can see this. We'll zoom in a little bit. All right, so if we go to the rule set, right? It's actually here, yeah. So Group A first place, Group B second place. So it really is hard to pick this bracket, right? So if we go to the playoffs bracket, here, all these first matchups, we have no idea of knowing yet, because we don't even know who came out of groups yet. I'm trying to do my best bet of predicting groups and then predicting the bracket from there. So for like Group A, I think it's going to be Optic and Minnesota Rocker, G2. I think Optic's going to be the first team, right? So I think Optics is going to win straight up. They're going to be, you know, the first team out of Groups A, and then Minnesota's going to go down and be the second team out. So Optic would play the second team of Group B. So that's between Thieves and Surge. That's a toss-up. They've had matches all year long where they've been close. Thieves kind of had their number. But if you're Optic, you're like, holy shit, we don't want to play either of these teams. Surge put up a good battle against us at champs. We ended up winning, but it was close. Thieves that's all year long was the top 1-2 team. So they're kind of like, holy shit, we got a terrible matchup coming out of this thing. I do think Thieves is going to win it, though. Like I said, I think they're on that like redemption, like, holy fuck, we have to lock in, dominate, let's start coming back. We kind of got a little complacent maybe at champs, you know, not really, but like, it felt that way. Let's really dive in. You know, they could be tweaking because of it, but I still think they're going to be the A team. So I think it's going to be Optic Surge. Then match 2, which will be this one, will be Group D first versus Group C second. So FaZe Clan versus FaZe or Miami have a good matchup on that. I'm going to say FaZe versus Boston, right? So FaZe is going to play Boston, second match. Then match 3 is Group C, versus first versus Group D second. So same thing. Ultra versus Miami. Honestly, I think Miami's probably going to win that. That's a pretty good matchup for them. But, yeah, especially because Toronto just made changes. I forgot about that. They dropped Beans, and they picked up a Challengers guy. I forget his name, but that was a rogue decision. Yeah, never mind. Miami's winning that. Damn, Toronto might not even make it out. And then Group B first versus Group A. So, 100 Thieves versus Minnesota. 100 Thieves going to win that. So the way it will work is that the winner of... So this is Optic versus Vancouver. This is FaZe versus Boston. So this is going to be Optic FaZe here. The top match for our semifinal. And then our third match will be Group C first. So Toronto versus Ultra. So, right? Yep. So, Toronto versus Miami, sorry. Miami's going to come out of that. And then Thieves is going to come out of the bottom one against Minnesota. Yeah, so Thieves, Minnesota. And then it'll be Thieves, Miami, FaZe, Optic. I think Optic beats FaZe. I'm going to be honest. I think that Champs run kind of put them above the that pedestal. I think they've been working hard. Realize, they kind of let last year's EWC slip away. And I think they're going to come back. I think Thieves going to beat Miami. I think it'll be close. I think both these will be close, honestly. I could see both these going map 5s. Easy. I don't see a slammage as much as I thought they would be. But, yeah, I think Grand Finals is going to be Optic versus Thieves. Optics look great. Hopefully they keep it up. Last year they kind of choked EWC, I guess, in terms, but honestly, single elimination, it's a little hard to say if they choked or not because you could make a loser run. And then it's gonna be Optic Thieves, and honestly, I'm an Optic fan. I'm kind of a Thieves fan too. Dan Ghosty, I think, is one of the best players in the league. I've liked him ever since he's come into the league. I think Thieves gonna win. They honestly kind of have the better team-ish. It's pretty close with who is the best team, same thing with FaZe, but I just see Thieves coming in with more, redemption. FaZe didn't do good at Champs back-to-back years. They won EWC last year, so that definitely, they know how to win here. The thing I think Thieves is going to win is because they did so bad. It wasn't like they got, 4th, 5th, 6th, they, placed all right at Champs. They got last. For a team that good, getting last, you're going to have a chip on your shoulder now. You're going to be like, holy shit, I got to prove people. Like I said, they could be tweaking. If they're tweaking, they might not they're tweaking where they're overthinking everything. They're planning everything. They got coaches now. That's a whole other thing. They do have 2 good coaches, so if they do decide to have the coach talk in, they do have 2 good coaches with Sender and oh my god, I'm blanking on their other coach's name. Jeez. But they do have 2 coaches. Same thing with Optic. They have JP and Karma, and then FaZe is Crowder. I don't know who's Miami's coach is, but all these teams have good coaches. The thing is, how much are they actually going to use them in the respawn? Who knows? But that definitely might play a factor in this decision making. It's tough to say. It's the first tournament they've had in forever where they just have coaches talking. So it's definitely a little tricky one. But I definitely do see Thieves winning. They're just the best team in the game, in my opinion. They've won 2 back-to-back. I know FaZe won 2. Optics won 1. It would be kind of cinema if it was FaZe won the first 2, Thieves won the second 2, and then Optic won the last 2, and Optic won the 2 biggest ones. That would be kind of some crazy cinema. I would be down for it, obviously. I could see Optic winning this also. It's not like Thieves or FaZe are, I guess it's Thieves, it's going to slam them. I don't see that happening. But I just think that chip on their shoulder that they're going to have from losing Champs might be better than Optic coming into EWC after winning Champs. You're on that high of winning. You want to win this because it's a lot of money, but I don't know. I know everyone's why wouldn't you take it serious? There is that slight bit of holy shit, we just won Champs. You're super high on that. Dopamine's insane. You're let's go. We just won Champs. Good stuff. it's a little tough to say whether winning champs might affect your mental of like how hard you want to actually like work at EWC. But even though I think they will work, I just think these losing champs the way they did is definitely going to put a chip on their shoulder. But honestly, Optic's got a tough road ahead of getting out of even the quarterfinals. They're going to have to play Thieves or Surge. So first round, they're going to have a tough matchup. You know, where Miami and FaZe, they're probably going to have the easiest matchup out of anyone. They're playing Toronto, Boston, Falcons, or I don't even who Team War. So yeah, they're going to have the easiest route out of these bottom ones, like here and here. So we'll see. You know, I think FaZe, Optic, and Miami Thieves is a good semi. I think Optic Thieves is a good final, and Thieves winning is a good pick. I think I've picked Thieves a couple times to win, and I don't know how many times I've been correct with picking them to win, but we'll see. I think I was right twice, maybe, or once. I think I was right twice. I was right but I was wrong once because of champs. I did not predict them to go out that early. But this is my bracket. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree, disagree, what you think kind of is going to happen with the coaches, the group stages, single elim, all that sort of stuff. Do you think it should be double elim or more of a longer series of each of them for the final bracket? You know, make it best of 7 since it's single elim. Let me know in the comments down below. If you are enjoying these videos, especially the brackets, breakdowns, you know, rank lists, reactions, all that sort of stuff, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed these videos, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my next videos. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.